Good afternoon, children. Now,
Good afternoon, teacher.
yes, good afternoon. Today we are going to learn something very interesting. Okay, have you ever seen your binded textbook? Have you ever seen? It must be in your hand right now. Notebook must be in your hand. Have you ever seen the pages? Those are lying or overlapped exactly on each other. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Now mute your mic, all of you. Yes, they are exactly overlapped on each other. Okay, now I'll tell it to you. Just do like this. Take your hands in front of your mouth and palm to palm you have to face it, and I'll tell it to you. Join your hands for prayer. What do you observe? That each finger for both of the hands, they are overlapping on each other, exactly overlapping on each other. Is it? Did you observe the same?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah,
Ma'am.
Yes, very correct. So what it is, what about this? That is nothing but the congruence. That is nothing but the congruence. Means the relation of two objects being congruent is called as the congruence. The figure which are exactly overlapping on each other, somehow maybe their angles, maybe their sides, they are overlapping on each other and the figures both are exactly coincide on each other. That is nothing but the congruent figures. Okay, so in today's session, we are going to learn about the congruence of triangles. We are only going to learn about the triangle and its congruence. Okay, so for that, Tata Class Age video, I'll show it to you. That is an beneficial aid for us because in virtual session, I actually cannot show it to you the cutouts of triangles, which in physical sessions I'm going to show you. But now to visualize something, Tata Class Age videos will help us out. I'll share my screen first. Little wait. Is it screen is visible to you all?
Yes, teacher.
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, fine. Now mute your mic. See the video properly, and while playing the video, I'll explain you the concept of congruence. Okay. First of all, line congruence we are going to see.
Two objects are equal or congruent if they have the same shape and dimensions. Take a look at these four line segments. Do they all have the same length? Line segments are congruent. Two objects are equal or congruent if they have the same shape and dimensions. Take a look at these four line segments. Do they all have the same?
Do they all have a same length? What do you observe with mere observation? Are you getting it that ST to PQ? Atharva?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Somebody's mic is unmuted. Please mute it. Atharva is Yes, only Atharva's mic should be unmuted. Atharva, by mere observation,
Yes, ma'am.
can you say that all these line segments are equal in length?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Mute your mic. Dhruva, can you say that all these lengths are equal in length?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are feeling like this. But if we will take an actual measurement of this, then we'll see what happens.
Same length. Line segments are congruent if and only if they have the same length.
When can we say?
One way to tell if two segments have the same length
When can we say the line segments are congruent to each other? When their length is equal or they exactly overlap on each other, then only we can say that the given two line segments are congruent to each other. Okay. So we will overlap it.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, we'll play. Wait a minute.
is to place one over the other. If one segment fits over the other
It is
completely
exactly
and
overlapping.
exactly, we can say that they are congruent.
Teacher, can you play again?
If they are not congruent,
Yes, I'll.
two objects are equal or congruent if they have the same shape and dimensions. Take a look at these four line segments. Do they all have the same length? Line segments are congruent if and only if they have the same length. One way to tell if two segments have the same length is to place one over the other. Study these shapes carefully. Two objects are equal or congruent if they have the same shape and dimensions. Take a look at these four line segments. Do they all have the same length? Line segments are congruent if and only if they have the same length. One way to tell if two segments have the same length is to place one over the other. If one segment fits over the other completely and exactly, we can say that they are congruent.
PQ and ST exactly overlapped.
If they are not congruent, you will see the difference in their lengths right away.
What do you observe in the second figure? ST, it not exactly overlapped on AB. Some part of AB was remain same. It means that they both are not congruent to each other. Okay. So whenever the line segments are having an equal measure or equal length, then only they are overlapping on each other, and that is nothing but the congruence of line segment.
Now, let's look at some angles. Angles are said to be congruent when they have the same measure. Congruent angles are denoted by the symbol for.
Now the congruence symbol is like this. Congruence symbol is like this. We are showing the congruence of any of the two objects with the help of this symbol. Now though the angles are aligned anyhow over here, but the measure of angle is same, then we call it as a congruent angles. Means this A angle is 110 degree and B angle is 110 degree. Both are aligned in different directions, but the measure of angle is same. So angle A is congruent to angle B. We are going to see the measure of angle. We are not going to observe the alignment or the direction of the angles. Understand? While deciding the congruence between the angles, we are going to observe the measure of angle, not a direction of an angle. Now this P angle is 90 degree, whereas R is also 90 and Q is also 90. So we can conclude like this: angle P is congruent to angle R as well as it is congruent to angle Q. Okay, though they are aligned differently in different directions, but the measure of angle is same. So we can conclude like this: all three angles are congruent to each other. Okay.
Congruence. For example, this is how you will denote that angle A is congruent to angle B. The lengths or directions of the arms of the angles are not considered while determining congruent angles. Just like lines and angles, shapes can also be congruent. If two shapes are identical in every way, they are said to be congruent. In other words, their corresponding sides and angles have the same measures.
Now what you observed over here, as we know, the shapes are nothing but formations of lines and angles. So if the measure of line segments and angles of two of the shapes are same, so though it is arranged in a different directions or in a rotated anyhow, but after rotating the figure we are going to get it, they are overlapped on each other, so they can be congruent to each other. Okay, in this figure we have observed the same thing.
These shapes are not congruent because their corresponding sides and angles are not equal.
Now in first shape there are 5 angles, whereas in a orange shape, that is the hexagon, there are 6 angles. Okay, so they cannot be congruent to each other because their angles are not corresponds to each other. Now in third and fourth shape, what you observe, there are 4 sides, 4 angles, but the measure of angles and the measure of sides are different, so also they are not congruent to each other. Okay, now we'll see the next part, correspondence. Now correspondence of vertices of triangles. What we know about the triangles, in last lesson we have learned, in previous lesson we have learned triangle and its properties. In that, first of all we have learned triangle is a formation of 3 angles and 3 sides. Means total 6 parts are there to a triangles. Okay, now we are going to see the correspondence between these all 6 parts.
Look at these 2 triangles. Look at points X and L. They lie alongside, don't they? So, vertex X is the pair of vertex L. In such a case, we say that vertex X corresponds to vertex L. This symbol denotes correspondence. In the same way, vertex L also corresponds to vertex X. So, both vertices X and L correspond to each other. We say that there is one-to-one correspondence between vertex X and vertex L. This is how it is written.
So vertex X in the figure XYZ, in triangle XYZ and in the triangle LMN, there are top vertex which are X and L. So X is corresponds to L, like the same L is corresponds to X. So two-way correspondence it is. So two-way correspondence is shown with the help of this symbol. Okay. Now base vertices as well. Now Y corresponds to M, like the same M corresponds to Y. So again it is two-way correspondence. So Y, this symbol is an M, we are going to write it. Like the same Z corresponds to N and N corresponds to Z. So two-way correspondence it is. So Z, that symbol corresponds to N.
So also, the vertices Y and M correspond to each other, as do the vertices Z and N. From these three correspondences, we can say that XYZ corresponds to LMN. And this is just one of the correspondences between
all three vertices are corresponds to each other. Therefore, the triangle is corresponding, XYZ triangle is corresponding to LMN triangle.
the vertices. Depending on which vertices correspond with each other, there can be 6 correspondences between the vertices of these two triangles. In this correspondence, we flip the second triangle horizontally to show its mirror image. Note the points that appear alongside each other. It is the same triangle, but doesn't it look a little different when flipped? Now let's go back to the old image of the second triangle. Now, we rotate it once and note the corresponding vertices. If we rotate the second triangle once more clockwise, this is the correspondence of the vertices.
When we rotate any one of the figure, then the correspondence may change. Okay, the top vertex can be a different one, base vertices can be a different one. So when we flip any of the image or any of the triangle among these two, then the correspondence may vary.
Let's go back to the original image of the second triangle. Now flip it to show its mirror image. Now, if we rotate it clockwise once and match the vertices, we get a new set of corresponding.
What we got it over here, now the top vertex of the LMN triangle, which is X in the top of this XYZ, whereas in LMN now the top vertex is N. So X corresponds to N and N corresponds to X. Like the same in XYZ, the base angles or base vertices are Y here, whereas here it is M. So Y corresponds to M and M corresponds to Y. Like the same, Z corresponds to L and L corresponds to Z. Are you getting it, all of you, this? When we flip any one of the triangle, then the correspondence may vary. Are you getting it, all of you? Is there any query? Dhruva?
No teacher, no query.
Okay.
No teacher, no query.
No teacher, no queries.
Okay.
Now, we rotate the second triangle.
Now, Dhruva, will you tell it to me? If we'll rotate the LMN triangle like this, then will you tell me the correspondence of, first of all, the triangles which we are considering, XYZ and MLN. Then will you tell me the correspondence of X vertex to a vertex of what in LMN? Atharva, mute your mic. Atharva, mute your mic. I asked to Dhruva. Dhruva, will you tell X corresponds to which vertex? Dhruva, unmute your mic.
Teacher, true as left meeting can I?
Yes, bolo.
Teacher, X vertex congruent to M.
Very good. X vertex congruent to M. Y vertex Y vertex congruent to,
Teacher, can I tell Avni?
हाँ बोलो अवनी.
L. Vertex L.
Correct. Y vertex
Teacher,
congruent
sorry,
to
but my network was gone.
Okay,
Hello,
fine.
teacher. Sorry, but my network was gone.
Fine, Dhruv. Now tell Z vertex corresponds to which vertex from MLN? Triangle MLN.
N.
Very good. So X corresponds to M, Y corresponds to L, and Z corresponds to N. Very good, all of you.
Go clockwise once more and note the corresponding vertices. We have thus enlisted the different ways the vertices of these two triangles can correspond with each other. Let's go back to the first correspondence between the vertices of these two triangles. When XYZ corresponds to LMN, these are the pairs of corresponding sides and angles.
Now, what you all can see over here, there are the parts of triangle, vertex, sides and angles. Now, sides, if you will observe over here, XY side is corresponds to LM. Okay, then XZ side corresponds to LN. Like the same, YZ base side corresponds to MN. Like the same, this is all about the side and the correspondence of pair of sides. Now I am going to tell you angles and their correspondence. X angle is corresponding to Y. Then X angle corresponding to L. Y angle corresponding to M. And Z angle corresponding to N. This is all about the correspondence of vertices, sides and angles of the triangle. Now with the help of this correspondence, we are going to show the congruence between the given two triangles. Okay, for this that is important to learn. Yes. Now actual congruence. See.
Triangles that have exactly the same shape and size are called congruent triangles. Two triangles are congruent if their corresponding sides and angles have the same measures. For
When we say both the triangles are congruent to each other, congruent means they should exactly overlap on each other. When they will exactly overlap on each other, their sides and angles, if they are equal in measure, then only the given two triangles are exactly overlap on each other. Now you can see over here, ZK side is equal in measure with PQ because it is given in the symbol that one line is shown on ZK like the same on PQ. It means that symbolically it is denoted that both these sides are equal in measure. Like the same two lines are there on KL side and two lines are there on QR side. Symbolically it is denoted that KL side is congruent to or is in equal measure with QR side. Okay, like the same ZL side with the three lines it is denoted and PR it is also denoted with the three lines, means they are equal in measure. So their three sides are equal. When three sides are equal, then their angles also are equal in measure. So K angle is equal to Q, L angle is equal to R and Z angle is equal to P. Though the measures are not given over here, actual measures are not given over here, but symbolically it is denoted all the equality. Therefore, we can conclude like this: JKL is congruent to PQR because sides and angles are equal. So, both these triangles will overlap on each other.
Example, side JK is equal to side PQ. Angle J is equal to angle P.
Now you can see over here, the congruence is shown with the help of symbol. Okay. So this is how we have to show the congruence of triangle with the help of this symbol.
Congruent triangles are denoted by the symbol for congruence. As shown here, triangle JKL is congruent to triangle PQR. To show that two triangles are congruent, it is not necessary to show that all 6 pairs of corresponding parts are equal. The triangles can be considered congruent if they fulfill any of the criteria for congruence. Let's look.
Now every time not it is necessary that all three sides and all three angles should be given to conclude like both the triangles are congruent to each other. Many a times some of the information is given to us and with the help of that information as well we can conclude both the triangles are congruent to each other. Then that information we set into a criterion. Okay, so that information we set into a criterion and with the help of that particular criterion, we can decide both these triangles are congruent to each other. So what we have learned, always it is not necessary that all three sides and all three angles should be congruent to each other. Okay.
Look at each of these criteria. If the sides of a triangle are congruent to the corresponding sides of another triangle, the triangles are congruent.
Means if all three sides are given to you, though it is in the measures or though it is in the symbols, if it is given to you, all three sides are congruent to each other, then it means that 100% both these triangles are congruent to each other. They will overlap on each other. Okay, so three sides are given to us. So this criterion is said to be side criterion. Okay, three sides, S criterion.
This is known as the side criterion or the SSS criterion of congruence.
So what we have learned in this criterion, three sides are given to us, then this criterion is said to be, Shreya, will you tell then this criterion is said to be which criterion? Shreya Gundeli, unmute your mic. Shreya, Avni, will you tell?
Side criterion, ma'am.
Very good. Good.
If two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of another triangle, the triangles are congruent.
So what we get this in, what information we get it over here, that two sides are given to us which are equal in measure as well as embedded angle. Okay, not only a two sides and any of the angle from the triangle. It is not like this. The sides and because of this side, which angle we are getting it in between or the embedded angle, that is called as the SAS criterion. Means this is S, this is A, embedded angle, and this is the another S, which is congruent to this side, this embedded angle and this side. So this criterion is said to be SAS criterion. With the help of this, we can show a congruence of triangle. Okay.
This is called the side angle side criterion or the SAS criterion of congruence.
Wait a minute little. Okay, up till now what we have learned? First of all, we have seen the congruence. What is meant by congruence? The relation of two objects being congruent to each other, means can overlap on each other exactly. It is called as the congruence. Then first of all, we have seen in the video line segment and its congruence. Okay, after that what we have seen? The correspondence between the vertices of the triangles, two triangles, then sides of two triangles, and then angles of two triangles. Now with the help of this correspondence, we are going to show with the help of criterion the congruence between two of the triangles. Then what we have learned in the video about SSS criterion. What is mean by SSS criterion? When three of the sides are given to us about two triangles and they are equal in measures if it is given to us, or else in symbolically it is given to us, then we can conclude like this: with side criterion, both these triangles are congruent to each other. Then what we have learned? Side angle side criterion. Side angle side criterion. In side angle side criterion, two sides and embedded angle, when it is given to us, we can conclude like this:
If the sides of a triangle are, if two sides and the included angle of one triangle,
then
if two angles and the included
SAS,
side of one triangle are
by SAS criterion, both these triangles are congruent to each other. Now this is the third criterion, which is ASA, means two angles are given to us and one side which should be embedded to each other, which should be embedded in between these two given angles. Then we call it as a by ASA criterion, both these triangles are congruent to each other.
congruent to the corresponding two angles and the included side of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. This is called the angle side angle criterion or the ASA criterion of congruence.
Next is RHS, means right angle, hypotenuse and the side. Okay. Wait a minute. Who will tell it to me up till now what we have learned? Which three criteria?
Atharva.
Atharva bolo. Yes. Yes, Atharva.
Till now, we have learned that the congruence of line segment,
Yes.
the criterion of the triangle,
Yes.
then what are the rules of the congruence,
Yes.
then the line segment needs the length to be common. It is
Yes.
not necessary in the triangles to be the side same
Correct.
and
Which the first criterion which we have learned, Atharva? Which is the first criterion? Very good. What?
side criterion.
Very good. Very good. Next to this, mute your mic, Atharva. Yes. Next to this, Shreya, will you unmute your mic? Shreya?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Which is the next criterion we have learned? Second criterion.
SAS criterion.
What is meant by SAS criterion?
Teacher, can I? Atharva.
Wait. No, Atharva, mute your mic. Very good. Side angle side means two sides and the embedded angle. Okay. Now the third one, Aditya, will you tell the third one? Third criterion which we have.
Teacher, connected.
Yes.
Angle side angle.
Very good. What is meant by
Teacher, when
angle?
a side is when two angles have a side embedded between them.
Correct. Correct. Very good. These all three criterions we have learnt up till now. Now we are going to solve exercise based on this. But in the next session, till time revise this criterion. Okay. Now we'll stop here. Do you have any query regarding this criterion? One
No, teacher.
one more criterion which we'll learn it in the next session, that is RHS criterion. Okay, so up till now whatever we have learned, do you have any query regarding this?
No teacher, no query.
So we'll solve exercise based on this in the next session. Till time, bye bye. We'll meet on. Yes, we'll meet in the next lecture.
Bye, teacher.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.